bracing for the end. Suddenly, a heavy patrol vehicle tears across the terrain and slams its brakes just feet from the deadly ambush. Ranger Alex Rivera leaps from the driver's seat, gripping an emergency flare. He strikes the flare and hurls it directly into the path of the encroaching pack, charging forward with sheer, aggressive determination. The sudden burst of light and the fearless advance from the seasoned ranger break the predator's nerve. They scatter, retreating quickly and leaving their prize behind. Alex does not hesitate. He drops to his knees, scooping the violently shaking cub into his chest. He wraps his heavy jacket around the fragile body, feeling the frantic, hammering heartbeat of a baby animal pushed to the limit of survival. Alex pulls the cub close, offering quiet promises of safety, but his mind races with dread. A cub this young should never be left unguarded. Somewhere out there, a mother is missing. Alex places the exhausted cub on the passenger seat, offering a bottle of emergency milk from his medical kit. The little lion drinks desperately, clinging tightly to Alex's arm with his tiny claws, terrified of being abandoned again. Alex knows the survival rate for an orphaned cub in the wild is practically zero. He has to find the mother. He leaves the safety of his vehicle, his eyes locked on the ground, reading the frantic tracks left behind. He traces the chaotic mix of tiny paw prints and the heavy, dragging marks of a massive struggle. The trail leads away from the rescue site, pulling Alex deeper into the untamed territory. He tracks the path for miles, his heart sinking with every single step as the signs of a desperate, violent conflict become clearer. The trail ends abruptly at a torn, chaotic patch of earth. Alex stops dead in his tracks. He reads the horrific truth stamped into the ground. There are dozens of predator tracks overlapping, frantic pacing, and the unmistakable signs of a lone lioness fighting an impossible battle. Alex's chest tightens as he pieces together the final moments. The mother did not abandon her baby when the massive pack ambushed them. She deliberately broke away from her cub. She made herself the sole target. She lured the entire pack away from her vulnerable baby, dragging the deadly threat as far as she could to give her child a chance to hide. She fought with every ounce of her being, taking on a horrifying number of attackers entirely on her own. She traded her life for his. Alex falls to his knees at the sight, overwhelmed by a gut-wrenching wave of respect and sorrow. He is a veteran ranger, a man who has witnessed the brutal reality of nature for years. But this level of sheer, selfless sacrifice shatters his composure. The mother knew she could not win, yet she ran directly toward her own demise just to buy her baby a few extra minutes of life. Alex makes a silent, fierce vow to the fallen mother right there on the ground. He will not let her sacrifice be in vain. He will protect her legacy. He returns to his vehicle, looking at the sleeping cub with a renewed, unshakable determination. He is not just saving an animal. He is honoring a mother's dying wish. Back at the remote ranger station, Alex becomes the cub's entire world. He works around the clock, feeding the baby every few hours, monitoring his fluctuating temperature, and soothing him through terrifying night terrors. The cub often wakes up in a panic, searching blindly for a mother who will never return. Alex stays by his side, offering a steady hand, letting the cub chew on his fingers for comfort. Weeks turn into a month. The fragile, trembling infant transforms into a sturdy, energetic young lion. He stalks Alex's boots, pounces on shadows, and grows stronger every single day. But Alex carries a heavy burden. He knows the strict rules of conservation. He cannot keep a wild predator permanently. A lion belongs in the wild, but releasing an orphan usually means a swift and certain end. No wild pride will easily accept a stranger. Alex spends hours reviewing footage from remote cameras, desperately searching for a miracle. Late one night, he spots something unbelievable. A local pride is moving through the adjacent territory. Leading the group is a powerful lioness bearing a striking resemblance to the cub's mother. The physical traits and movements point heavily to her being a close relative, perhaps a sister to the fallen mother. Alex's heart pounds with a sudden surge of hope. This is the only chance. It is a massive, terrifying risk. If the lioness rejects the cub, she will eliminate him instantly. But if she recognizes the bloodline, if maternal instinct overrides territorial aggression, the cub will have a family. Alex decides to take the gamble. The morning of the release is heavy with heart-pounding tension. Alex loads the growing cub into the transport crate. The young lion trusts Alex completely. Rubbing his head against the ranger's hand through the metal bars, Alex feels a massive knot in his stomach. He has poured his soul into keeping this little fighter alive. And now, he has to hand him over to the unpredictable mercy of the wild. He drives to the edge of the pride's territory, parking a safe distance from where he last tracked the lioness. He steps out, his muscles tight with anxiety. He opens the crate. The cub steps out, confused, sticking closely to Alex's legs. He refuses to leave his human protector. Alex gently nudges the cub forward, stepping back toward the vehicle to break the connection. The cub stands frozen in the open space, feeling the vast emptiness of the wild. He calls out desperately. For an agonizing minute, nothing happens. Alex holds his breath, his hands gripping the side of his vehicle, praying he made the right choice. Then, a massive figure emerges from the brush. The wild lioness steps into the open. She is huge, powerful, and completely unpredictable. She locks eyes with the cub. The rest of her pride waits in the background, tense and ready to follow her lead. Can you feel the tension right now? This is the exact moment where nature can be breathtakingly cruel or unbelievably merciful. The lioness slowly stalks toward the tiny cub. Her muscles are coiled. Alex's heart hammers against his ribs. He prepares to rush in if she shows any sign of aggression, even though he knows he might not be fast enough. The lioness closes the distance. The cub cowers, pressing his belly to the ground, submissive and terrified. The giant predator lowers her massive head. She does not bare her teeth. She does not strike. Instead, she pushes her nose deep into the cub's fur, taking in his scent. She pauses. Something clicks. The bloodline, the familiar scent of her lost relative, or simply the powerful, universal instinct of motherhood takes over. She begins to gently groom the trembling cub, licking his head with long, reassuring strokes. The cub stops shaking. He leans into the massive lioness. Accepting the first touch of his own kind since the day his mother died, the lioness turns, nudging the baby forward toward the rest of the waiting pride. The other lions do not attack. They watch, accepting the new addition under the absolute protection of their lead female. Alex stands by his vehicle, completely overwhelmed by emotion. He just witnessed the impossible. The brutal, unforgiving rules of the wild looks direct. There is no fears anymore, only a profound, silent understanding between